Keeps talking about he hasn't seen the touch of a woman, and I want to buy him a. Sorry.
You want your father to see but you don't want your father to go to jail. So you're saying, are there loopholes
Correct.
where if it was for only it wouldn't be illegal? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Casanova, you're a real person, but that is a fake name. You're calling about your dad. What is your legal issue?
So my dad's wife left him. His third wife left him a couple of years ago, and he's been a little ornery since.
Okay.
And I kind of put it this way: he keeps talking about he hasn't seen the touch of a woman, and I want to buy him a whore. Sorry, a prostitute. But he's nervous about being caught in some weird John sting where his name shows up in the paper.
Okay.
So I was thinking, how do I talk him into this, right? How do I get him to say this? Girls out there, we could pay for this. What? And do you
have a legal question? What is the question?
What if I paid OnlyFans girls to have sex with him?
Well, what's your budget?
How much are you offering?
I don't know.
Jessica's trying to make this happen.
$400 or $500.
I don't know that. No, but
Can't
the
help
point
you.
is that it's not prostitution because what if they were shooting for an episode that never aired?
Oh, okay. Wait, no, there's almost a legal question.
Okay.
I mean, they're going to be faking it. So is he a producer because they're acting? How do I?
Are they faking the sex or there's actual penetration?
Well, no, hold on. Wait.
Sure
Before you answer, that's really outdated. You can have sex without penetration.
I understand, but
It's
the
called
law.
gay sex.
Well, he's not going to. He's an old guy. He's not going to do it without. What's the point of that?
Well, they call that docking.
Okay, so your question is...
He's 73. He's not going to dock.
He ain't got time to dock. He's trying to
Is
fuck.
he soaking, as the Mormons would say?
He doesn't want to go to jail for doing
Okay,
something.
let's reframe this, okay? You want your father to see a hooker, but you don't want your father to go to jail. So you're saying, are there loopholes
Correct.
where if it was for only it wouldn't be illegal? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, we're paying him to be an actor, right? I told him, listen, if there's a tripod, it's not prostitution. Is that true at all?
That's totally not true. Otherwise, pimps wouldn't exist.
Actually,
so
okay, there is a gray area.
it depends what state he's in. So
Yeah, where
what
do you
state
live?
are you in, Casanova, or country?
Texas.
Okay.
Is it Texas? Okay, in Texas.
Yeah,
All right.
we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. So in Texas, so there's only 2 states that have real case law that supports the legality of shooting a porn. So paying actors and actresses to have sex on camera, California and New Hampshire. The rest of the states have just largely have anti-prostitution and obscenity laws, but there's not actual case law about it because no one bothers to prosecute it.
But
So that's
listen,
your
that's
kind
a
of your
key word
first
there. I just
point.
want-
is
I
that
wanna
people
play-
are not prosecuting
Yeah,
this.
that's a feather in the cap. I want to play good cop, bad cop here,
Okay.
right? So we're not saying it is legal, but in terms of how do you reduce the risk? If you were hiring someone for an only production, that would be a very different thing than meeting someone for sex on the street. It would at least.
What if I pay both of them? Can I pay him too? I mean, that's gross,
Paying
but
your
still.
father?
Well, you're going to pay your dad to bang a...
Well, then he's an actor. They're both actors.
Yeah.
I'm the
That's
producer.
actually, if you're going for that, but I think it may be overcomplicating it, which is you could instead just intimate that he is a recluse because he has billions of dollars and he hasn't had the touch of a woman, and the one woman who can kind of hit that magic button for him is going to get the jackpot of the century.
This all seems weird because who's
Can I call
fucking
it like a
snitching? Who are you
massage
worried
and
about
then we
snitching?
don't know what happened?
He's worried. He's worried that he's going to be caught in a sting, which is why I
grew
say
up
you
at
just
a
go find a
time where
random chick.
Your papers on the.
Well, don't go on fucking Backpage. Does that even exist? Or Craigslist? Just ask the bitch directly how much to fucking suck.
Well,
I think that there's another issue there. Now, if you just start going up to people at a
You
bar,
can't- yeah.
and
Hey,
saying
how much
how
the
much,
It's not any
Suck.
bar.
My
It's
72-year-old
at least
dad.
Twin Peaks.
listen, dude, I'm gonna make it pretty simple for you. I'm pretty versed in this metaverse, so to speak. You live out there in East Texas. I take it you smell like a Beaumont guy. I'm getting a sour gas kind of smell. Am I pretty correct? Doesn't matter. I'm pretty close. Listen, they got the Malaysian rug and tugs, no pun intended. And let me tell you something. Dude, maybe check his ass into a nursing home with a sponge bath. You know what I'm saying? He
think
went
they'll do
wild with a sponge. There's people helping old people pass.
they
You know
have
what I'm
so
saying?
much sex in nursing homes. They have gonorrhea outbreaks, herpes outbreaks. Your dad's gonna get all kinds of strange in a nursing home.
Did you know that nurses also, my mom worked in a hospice and she had friends, other nurses that would jerk off the guys.
Now that's extra, right? That's
Yeah,
not
that's
included.
extra.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that's
patient
extra.
care.
That's how you
Yeah.
get your tip at Benihana's.
Actually, true.
I do think there's an interesting legal, despite the caller's inability to articulate it. Sorry, caller.
Okay, so
I think there's an interesting legal issue here.
What's the legal issue? What do you think the legal issue is?
Well, here's the thing: either all of the people that have done OnlyFans are committing a crime, or there is an exception carved out for them. One of those two has to be true. Either everyone on OnlyFans is a criminal.
Okay, first of all, you're saying everyone on OnlyFans. You mean the people having sex on OnlyFans?
I think what he's asking is there are people that are on OnlyFans, and some of them get paid to perform. The majority of them get paid to perform.
Correct.
With more steps. It's just slavery with more steps. So either there's an exception carved out for those performers, which is what he's trying to take advantage of in a clumsy way, or they're all criminals. That's the question here.
Fuck it. Does your dad want to be in a sex tape? Why don't we just bypass it all? Like give your dad a little rub and tug.
We'll never publish it. That's
it'll be like a director's cut.
Just do that.
Hold on. It's a very important. Does he need to think this is real?
That's a good question.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay,
so that's a real actor.
Here's the thing is,
let's just say we're not listening to this podcast.
Right. So you need to find someone who does he have like age specifications here, or like can you just find another geriatric?
He's gonna get so inappropriate so fast. Yeah. What are his specifications?
I'm trying to be practical here. The legal answer is it's a fucking crime, but the practical answer is love. The love, a son's love for his father, and the father's love for some hooker.
Look, you ain't got a neighbor or a cousin or something that's down on their luck.
Oh, a cousin? It's not that far.
Well, it's East Texas, bud. Don't get all pushy. Okay? Relax, guy. Now you're on your fucking high horse from Beaumont. Okay, listen. We've all fucked our second cousin.
I'm trying to pay for my dad to have sex, but I'm not into my cousin. That's I draw the line there.
Does it have to be a person?
These are the questions we're here for. This is value shopping right here.
Tijuana's a fucking stone throw away, dude.
Yeah, Mexico would be a...
Yeah.
Mexico is an option. Sex tourism, I guess.
Oh, international sex trafficking is the okay.
Yeah.
I just want to know: can I buy a hooker without getting in trouble, man?
Yes.
Okay. What you're doing is a crime. The likelihood of it being caught if you're going through those steps and you're not finding some random woman off the street wearing only fishnet on Harry Hines in Dallas, then you're okay.
No, what about Las Vegas? Las Vegas, it's legal there. Just take your dad to Vegas and then throw him off a fucking cliff, because that's what I would want to do.
Just take him
fucking calling me about trying to get me fucked.
Yeah, let's look that up.
Does your dad have a heart condition and a large life insurance policy? I'm trying to piece this all together.
Yeah, that's a yes.
So.
Okay. All right, caller.
Okay, look. No, here, hold on. Prostitution is legal in Nevada. Also, apparently, it's partially decriminalized in Maine.
There you go.
See, but that's not the interesting legal issue to me. So it is a fact.
It's expensive to fly to Maine.
It is a fact that all these people are doing OnlyFans.
They're criminals.
And
it's a violation of the law. If they're doing it in these states, it's a violation of the law.
But prosecutors are not prosecuting.
They're not prosecuting them.
And
Correct.
they're not prosecuting because they don't want there to be a case of precedent. Basically, every prosecutor is going, if I take this on and I lose, it's going to open the floodgates of porn. Everybody's going to come to my jurisdiction.
Correct.
And they're going to set up porn shops.
Correct.
So to me, this is a don't ask, don't tell.
Yes.
So, okay. All right.
You are violently correct.
So what I think is you shouldn't engage in prostitution in an area where it's illegal. That's us covering our ass. But if you were to, creating an OnlyFans account and hiring an actress to participate in it is plausible coverage. It's plausible. It's not guaranteed, but it's novel.
No, it's plausible that it's still a crime because the central thing is still a crime.
It is plausible that
it's not prostitution if there's a tripod.
There is.
Yeah, dude, just
we
go
went
with that.
through
Good
the
luck.
pimp theory of criminology. If you pay the pimp and the pimp pays the girl, it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, it covers that. Just in fucking chapter 43 of the Penal Code.
To be completely honest, though, if we're talking schematics,
don't say that.
No. To be completely honest, if we're being schematics, do you love your dad? And he's okay, of course you do, right?
Do you have a wig?
And he's 72. No. And he's 72.
I like your thinking.
I like what you.
It's been 25 years.
I'm probably gonna have that made into a T-shirt. If there's a tripod, it's not illegal. I like that. But I'm going to be honest with you, old son. If your dad's 72 with a heart condition and erectile dysfunction, $500 ain't going to get you shit, old son. I mean, and not something that if you love him and you want him to have a good send-off, to the pearly gates, you're going to, 500 ain't even, that's just a tip. I mean, hell, that won't even get her in the door.
I'll do it for a used computer.
As an Asian, I agree with what Uncle Lazer is saying. That you need to up your numbers here.
Okay. What have we learned? What have we
It's
learned?
not illegal if there's a goddamn tripod in the room.
I think
Pimps would be out of business.
So I know if the
So,
glove
like-
doesn't fit, it must acquit. But there's got to be a rhyme we could do with tripod. Is there a rhyme we could do with tripod?
Well, tripod
or-
also means dick, so just fuck your dad and be done with it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
got
like you said,
very
throw on
real.
a wig.
Throw on a
Spread 'em.
wig.
You love your dad how much?
Where's the limits of the love?
The show is called Hardly Legal, not definitely illegal.
Now,
but
what are the
we'll-
legalities between relatives, if any?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not very familiar, Josh.
Incest is a tale as old as time.
Okay, caller.
Oldest
I
profession.
think that's Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Congratulations, we're demonetized on YouTube, and your dad is dead. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Good luck, dude.
Thank you for the help.
Anytime, dude. We're killing it.
Okay.
Why did we go? We're killing his dad. We knew the first one was such a feel-good story. I felt so good on the first one, and that one goes, "How do I get my dad's lane?"
You know what's crazy? Okay,
These
because
are
I
real
specifically
problems,
said,
though.
Because I'm aware of your work, right? I was like, we got Uncle Lazer coming in. Okay, he's a guy who likes to party. He's a guy who likes to have fun. I don't want to give him a cancer sob story, and we
And
have
then
all
you
these
did.
notes, and she hid the cancer. She hid the fucking screener. I have a page of notes, nothing about the cancer. So
It's real life, brother.
yeah, so
Real
that
life.
slipped through, and then we get this guy who was kind of
You hated this guy. You did not want to help him at
You
all.
were fucking getting pissed.
Yeah,
loved it.
I like that
loved
guy.
it. Dude, when you started laying into him, I go, okay, so all right, you're on your fucking high horse. You can't fuck your cousin in East Bernard or wherever you're
Well, no,
from.
because I thought okay, so we pick these callers, right?
Yeah.
We get and we try to articulate.
This is fun.
I thought there's
Yeah.
a really
It's
good
good
legal
time.
issue. I think that are all OnlyFans criminals?
They
or-
are.
I don't know. It's complicated and
it's a
it's
very
novel.
big gray
I think
area.
that's a really interesting discussion.
That's a great
I
discussion.
didn't want to talk about his dad getting laid. I wanted to talk about this bigger issue, but
Yeah.
you know, we didn't
Let's
get
talk.
there.
No, we'll talk about it right now.
I think it's interesting. These states are saying prostitution's illegal, and we see with technology, right? There used to be cabs. If you had a cab, you had to get a license to drive a cab, and then Uber comes in, and they.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
cooking.
Yeah,
I'm
cook.
cooking, Bill.
Let him cook.
Let 'em cook,
Let
dude.
him cook.
They have the Ubers come in and they violate all the local and state ordinances, and Uber just goes, "That's fine, we'll pay the fine." And then Uber becomes so big that the state changes the laws to catch up to Uber. Okay, and so with OnlyFans, we now have these prostitution laws. Some of these laws are 100 years old, 150 years old in some places, and they don't anticipate privately owned porn. They don't anticipate a person who owns their own porn domain, because it used to be pornography was this big distribution and it only existed in like one city in California. And so now we do not literally have laws on the books that really cover this, and you have prosecutors that are like not prosecuting. So there is this
I disagree.
there's an emerging area to talk about.
There is an emerging area to talk about, but just because something should be the case is not the case about what the law is right now. The law right now makes these only creators, because of the way the law is written, they are engaging in illegal prostitution.
Pull it up. Let's talk about it.
Whether it's right or wrong is a different story.
Then quick pro quo. Okay. Then why did most states make it to where, like, in order to get on fucking Pornhub and X Hamster and
Yeah,
all the
that's
good
a
sites,
good one.
you got to now put in your license and everything.
Yeah, and you have to. Some of them you have to take on
you-
Pornhub. You got to screen your face.
You have to screen your face. So, like, if they're doing shit like that, what's that doing? That's pushing people strictly straight to only, right?
Yeah.
So, are lawmakers really saying, like, no, I think I think the technology of the world we live in is moving a little bit more to advanced than the laws that we're
Yes.
trying to keep up with.
Yes.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
And they're all lobbyists. They're all getting paid back. Like, why? Look, a buddy of mine goes, I'm not putting my license on a goddamn Pornhub.
Yeah.
I don't want the government knowing what I'm looking at. I'm like, well, don't say it like that. If you say it like that, you probably shouldn't be looking at what you're looking at. buddy.
Yeah, you
I mean,
say it like-
pretty-
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
like,
don't need the government. You know?
yeah, dude, I mean,
So the goal here, the goal of the law, the stated goal, whether the secondary goal or not, the stated goal is to keep children from accessing
Sure.
porn.
sure.
They
and-
still do it. I did it. When were you?
They
how
still
old were
do
you when
it.
you
They
looked at
still do
porn?
it.
I
I
was
love
Yeah.
this conversation. keep talking about the thing
He
we were
was
originally.
molested. Go
Okay.
ahead, sir.
Hard jumped over it.
Yeah.
Let's
So in the days before the internet, there were ways to get a hold of porn, right?
Yeah.
And
Ask your
now,
parents.
or you just got the Victoria's Secret and you were like, man, this is as good as I got. So in today's age, there has to be something that helps to prevent, if we've got an arms race of people's ability to get access to it, and presumably it's wrong. We could debate whether it's wrong.
That's a
or
whole.
not.
We don't even have time.
Yeah,
for
we're
that
not going to
pod.
debate
Yeah.
whether children have.
This is
porn,
my favorite
different
podcast I've ever been on. This
Thank you.
podcast is great.
Please tell your
I'm having a
friends.
great
Yeah. So,
Time.
the bigger issue is this: like regardless of whether you're in Utah or Texas or California, everyone consumes porn. Almost like if you're a guy, almost every single guy is consuming it, and if they're not consuming
It's
it
very
regularly,
sexist.
they're trying to quit. No, I mean it's just that we have the
trying to
demographic
quit.
data, right? No, I mean it's like I don't trust a guy
I
who's
can't
like I
stop
don't
watching
watch
people
pornography.
fuck. That's
I don't. If a guy's like I don't watch porn, I don't trust you. If a guy's like I'm trying not to, I'm like it's a cool. Like this
Yeah,
guy,
he's trying to
this
get
is-
better.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this is
yeah.
a guy who's honest, right? Like
What about the guy who's like, I'm trying to watch more?
it's weird.
I
guy-
moved
Can't get enough.
states because Pornhub's not available anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, like I didn't get my steps in with porn this week. It's like oh, woof, woof.
People said they were going to leave when Trump was elected. Pornhub gets banned. They actually moved.
Yeah.
If you have a crazy legal story and you want to talk to some lawyers anonymously, for free, call us.
Wait, we're not getting paid?
Nothing at all. I don't know how we're going to pay for it, to be honest.